Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, these two are good. I swear, they make sure the island have all their knickers in a twist. Their pearl jewelries go flinging out the window. And my goodness, one can only imagine the drama going on at the palaces at the moment. I love it. I absolutely love it. Prince Harry is burning down. It's so funny. I was like, okay, I tried to find something to represent how much I was laughing yesterday with Prince Harry. And we're going to get to that with Prince Harry seeking and receiving permission to go look at royal families' emails to the Sun. And we'll get to that in a second. But I was like, okay, Harry, you know how they're always talking about the bridge building and, Harry and William and Charles and, all the things that Charles is doing to try to build bridges, all the olive branches that they're throwing out to Harry. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I see. Harry's like, yeah, about that bridge that we're building. Let's just rip that to threads and just throw it in the water. And I was like, what kind of a graphic? Because, they always talk about olive branches. And I was like, Harry's just burning the branches. And I remember like, okay, no, that's kind of a sensitive issue right now, especially what's going on with Israel burning Palestine olive trees. So I didn't want to use that. So I am just going to say Harry is burning all those branches that they are supposedly extending via the press. Of course, we know that's just the British press. It's like, oh, they're extending these olive branches and these olive whatever, and they're trying to bridge build and all that stuff. And Harry just like, about the branch and the bridge, I'm just going to rip it to threads. And of course, they can't admit that Harry has no interest in doing any of that nonsense. And so it's all like, oh, Meghan's fault. This Meghan's something Meghan is doing. Never mind, Meghan is out just, living her life and in her year of joy and all that stuff. But anyway, it is just funny to me that what is going on. And what am I talking about? King tried to block Prince Harry from suing the Sun publisher, court hears. That's right, Harry is back in court. And of course, we know he is suing the Sun tabloid. But this one, he's suing the Sun tabloid. He also has a case against the Daily Mail. But this specific one is about the Sun, and their court case is coming up in January. I think it's going to start January 25th around there. And the court case is going to be going for about 8 weeks. I'm like, oh, that's a long time. This court case started out with about 35 people suing the Sun in a group, and now it is down to 2, Harry and this MP or former MP or something that's still on the case. And so Harry is trying, I have to believe, it's so funny. It wouldn't surprise me if Prince Harry is studying law. And, this is one of the case because he is doing those moves. And I was like, plus he has an amazing attorney. But anyways, King Charles tried to block Prince Harry from suing the Sun, publisher court hears. Prince Harry to argue at January trial that his father acted to discourage him from pursuing legal action against the news group newspaper. And we know that before because Harry talked about it before. So this is not anything new that Prince Charles didn't want Harry to go after the Sun. He didn't want him to file any of these lawsuits. Harry talked about it. Actually, it's in spare. So this is not news. But what is news is that Harry is going to be testifying in court to the extent of that. And I was like, oh. Again, those bridge building, branches that's been extended, it is going to be ripped to shreds. And so Harry is prepared to go testify. And so far, look, the Sun has been settling with everyone. They don't want to go to court, and they've never had to answer to any of the charges. People have been settling out of court because, again, as we've mentioned before and we talked about before, with how they do court cases in the UK, sometimes even if you win, you have to end up paying millions in court fees to the person who lost. And so Harry could be on the hook for millions of dollars if he loses or wins this case, because it depends on if the Sun offered him more money than he won. Even if he wins the case, he has to pay the son. So this is crazy how they do it in the UK. It is set up literally for the newspapers to get the maximum and the people who are suing them to lose the maximum. So it is crazy. It is very unfair how they set these things up in the UK, but that's what it is at the moment. So, but Harry has not settled, and this former MP, I think is a former MP or something like that, he has not settled either. And so both cases are scheduled to go to court in January. We will see if it'll settle. But this is some stuff. There was a hearing this past week, and just in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know about it, just as just a little snippet of it, I'm going to move my banner and my brand there. As I move the banner, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Please like and share the video, and please join the channel, help support the channel and grow the channel. I appreciate all of you who has already done so. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and move my banner there so I can read the whole thing. So Reuters gave us a little bit about what happened this past week, a few days ago. I think it was 3 days ago. Harry went to court to get some more and stuff. And I'm like, you go, Harry is a warrior. And this is Harry in battle, says Reuters says Prince Harry's lawsuit against Murdoch UK Group moves to its trial as others settle. His case was one of 40 lawsuits against NGN, but all but one other litigant, former Labour Party deputy leader Tom Watson, have now settled. Harry's lawyer, David Sherburn, told the court, those who have agreed to settle include Spice Girl Melanie Brown, former BBC executive Alan Yentob, Game of Thrones actor Alfie Allen, Ted Beckham, father of former England captain David Beckham, and Queen Camilla's nephew, Ben Elliot. Hold that name. Just hold on to that name. We'll get back to Ben Elliot in a second. But these are some of the people who were part of that group of 40, included David Beckham's father. And it's just like, and Melanie Brown from the Spice Girls. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize. I knew about David Beckham's father. I didn't know the Spice Girl was in there too. And also Queen Camilla's nephew, Ben Elliot, was part of that group with Harry that was suing the son. And it's just, which calls into question Camilla's and Charles's relationship with the son. And just like, what? Anyway, hold on to the name Ben Elliot in this. We'll get back to Ben Elliot in a second. But the article goes on. It said, an NGN spokesperson said, in some disputed cases, it has made commercial sense to come to a settlement agreement before trial to bring resolution to the matter. As we reach the tail end of the litigation, NGN is drawing a line under disputed matters. Harry's lawyer applied on Friday for NGN to search for emails between senior executives at News Corp, including Chief Executive Robert Thomson and the royal staff. And another part of the article says, Harry asked the court to order NGN to search for emails sent between the royal staff and executives, including Thomson, Rebecca Brooks, head of the Monarch UK subsidiary. Judge Timothy Fancourt ruled that NGN should provide some further documents, including any proposal by News Corp that was sent to the royal staff. Fancourt also quoted from documents recently filed by Harry's lawyer, which said that Harry will argue at trial that his father acted to discourage and stymie him from suing NGN. And again, we've heard about that before. We heard that Charles did dissuade Harry, or at least tried to dissuade Harry. And but what's interesting, what I love about this, and of course we knew from previous testimony, I think earlier in the year, or was it last year, these court cases are rolling into one for me, that the Queen was also going after the son for spying on her family, and that she gave Harry permission to go after them. And so they also read from an email where Harry wrote a group of people in the royal family, including William, that basically the son is stalling them. And so there are all of these email communications, which obviously, we learned that Prince William took about £1 million from the Sun, or NGN, which is who owns the Sun. So there obviously is a lot of communication going back and forth. And my goodness, what are in those emails? Now, there could be a chance that there's nothing in the emails that could help Harry with his court case. But I think more importantly for Harry is a chance to see what they've been talking about, see what the communication has been like. And that is going to go, I think the time frame is from 2013 straight up to 2019, 2018, 2019. It would be very interesting. Of course, the judge is going to limit some of the emails that he can use and all of that stuff, or some of the information that can be used. But I can imagine for Harry, this is a huge win. It is a huge win for him because of the secrecy of all of that is in the royal family, including him. There are things that he didn't know. For example, he didn't know that the royal institution were part of Ravik, that people who were in the royal family, like the Queen Private Secretary, the Private Secretary to King Charles, and also to Prince William, were all part of Ravik. They told him that it was completely independent until this court case started happening with Home Office. Then he found out the truth. And so it would be very interesting to see coming out in the court case, if they continue to trial, what would be in those emails. And you know that the royal family, I'm telling you at this point, would I be shocked if the royal family started a deleting campaign? No, I would not be shocked at all. For them, it's better for the judge to reprimand them than for them to let the world see what they've been writing about, because for them, it's about, privacy and secrecy. And so you know that they were shaking on Friday when the judge was like, yeah, he can see the emails. Because again, that was absolutely necessary, because we know the Queen's private secretary was communicating with NGN, and we talked about this on here, where they were basically giving the Queen the hand. And so it's only fair that Harry see these emails going back and forth, and especially the fact that he spoke about William settling for about $1 million or £1 million, that he sees what's this, because they were denying stuff, and Harry's like, no, that stuff was happening. So again, whether the stuff that he sees will help him, who knows? But it's a big win for him to be able to see those emails and then to be able to use. And of course, again, with the stupid branches and bridge building, if I were Harry, I would drag all of them into court for them to testify. Can you imagine him dragging William into court? That would be hilarious. I'm telling you, Harry is about ready to drag them all and expose them all. And I am just so proud of Prince Harry. I'm like, you go. Now, again, this could completely wipe Harry out because of how the court system is in the UK, with how much money stuff costs. And it seems like a lot of the judges don't even want to deal with that stuff. They're like, look, better take the deal and end this thing, or you're going to pay up. And so who knows how this is going to end, but I'm just so proud of Prince Harry going forward. And again, one of the only two people that are still a part of this case. And so, yeah, it's just, I don't think I even realized Doreen Lawrence was even part of this group. And so she actually settled with them out of court as well, along with all of these other people. And so, yeah, Prince Harry is like, I am fighting you to the death. And so Prince Harry's out there fighting, and so happy for him and so proud of him with his fight. He's not giving this up. And so, and again, for Harry, it's a lot more than money. It's so much more. And I think also fighting for his mom and also for his wife, what they did to her, even though the judge refused to allow that part of the case to go forward, Harry is fighting. And so I am just so proud of him. But I'm going to be very interested in finding out what's in those emails for me. Yes. So Ben Elliot. Remember, we just talked about Ben Elliot, who was also part of this case. So y'all remember, we talked about Ben Elliot extensively when we started talking about the cash for access, cash for honors, well, yeah, this is the same Ben Elliot who was part of that group who was suing the Sun. This is the same Ben Elliot. How this whole thing started with cash for access was Ben Elliot and his quintessentially company, where he was charging people, these high profile people with tons of money, especially from overseas. He was the one charging these people for access, including access to King Charles. And so this is how this whole mess started. Now, does he still have that company? He is a Tory, one of those Tory people, and he was working for the Tory government and still having this company where a lot of their clients were also Russian as well. And so there's a whole big mess. This is the same Ben Elliot. Tory co-chair refuses to answer question about cash for access claim. Stop bothering me, he says. To the reporter, and the reporter is like, are you offering access to Prince Charles for money? Tory co-chair refused to answer. The Conservative Party co-chair Ben Elliot has refused to answer questions about allegations that he has raised money from organizing meetings between wealthy businessmen and his uncle Prince Charles. Mr. Elliot has been accused of introducing clients of his concierge company quintessentially to the future king if they spend tens of thousands of pounds on a membership scheme. Appearing at the Tory conference in Manchester, the co-chair was asked repeatedly whether he was offering access to King Prince Charles for money, which he was doing, because there was we did a whole episodes of this, of one of the very rich men who bought one of his membership plans, and part of that was access to King Charles, whose Castle of May project that we know that's part of a King Charles's so quote unquote charities, that this gentleman met King Charles wined and dined him, and also he gave money to King Charles, or donated money to King Charles's charity at the Castle of May. And so we did a whole episodes of that. And so this is King Charles. This is Ben Elliot at his wedding, and there's Camilla and Charles. And of course, Ben Elliot is Camilla's nephew. And so, yes, this is the same Ben Elliot who is part of that court case with Prince Harry, but has since settled with the Sun. It is just this cycle of things that is including with the royals. And if it's just... So don't know why he went ahead and settled, but he went ahead and settled. I'm not sure specifically. They didn't say specifically what he was suing the Sun for, but he was part of that. And so, yeah, it's just for me interesting. And so the Sun has done so much awful things to the royal family, yet they still are sleeping in their beds. It just is, it's amazing. And again, I guess it's because the Sun probably have so much on them, they can't break away from the Sun. And so, yeah, it's just incredible to me that the royals still, instead of fighting, they lay up in their beds. It's just interesting to me. But anyways, a little bit more on Prince Harry's case. It says Harry can see emails between the Sun publisher and the royal household, judge rules. Harry, 40, is suing News Corp newspaper over allegations he was targeted by journalists and private investigators working for the publisher. In a ruling, Mr. Justice Fancourt said there was a degree of speculation whether any of the documents sought are going to assist the claimant's case, but ruled that there was sufficient justification for some of the emails to be provided. He said, in all circumstances, therefore, it seems to me that there is a limited category of documents where, despite the element of delay and despite the relative lateness of the application, there is a credible case for saying a full picture is necessary in the interest of justice. I will, however, limit the documents that are being sought. David Sherburn, for Harry, had asked for a green light to see relevant emails sent between 5 email accounts of NGN employees and 5 employees of the royal household between January 2013 and September 2019, which he said would be highly relevant to the case. And of course, the NGN lawyer put in his thing that no, 1, it's late, 2, it's costly, and nothing in those emails are relevant. Of course, the rebuttal to that. Of course, they are going to say that. But again, the judge, obviously, any normal person would be like, yeah, any emails that are around that and discussing this would be relevant to what Harry is talking about. And so again, the judge is going to, limit the categories that they can ask for, but he has allowed Harry to go ahead and do it. Says the Duke of Sussex can use further emails between executives of the publisher of The Sun and members of the royal household in his legal claim against the organization. A High Court judge has ruled Harry 40 is suing newspapers for allegations he is targeted by journalists and private investigators working for the publisher, which also ran the now defunct News of the World. And so, so Harry's going to get to see those. Again, we know that Will Lewis, who is now the editor of the Washington Post, where journalism dies in daylight over there, but he is now the editor over there. He is alleged to have instructed the people at the Sun, or at least news group, to delete thousands upon thousands or hundreds of thousands of emails. And so who knows, maybe they'll be like, oops, we didn't have that one. That one was deleted too. Oops, Harry, I would not be surprised. I would be very surprised if Harry gets to see any of those emails whatsoever. And again, if they're damning emails, I expect the royal family to delete them. And so, again, with them, better delete them and take the punishment than it being exposed. They are about secrecy, of course. But I am just so proud of Prince Harry not settling, at least not yet. I mean, they could make it so the offer so astounding to Harry that there is no way he could say no without completely wiping himself and his family out of everything they have financially. I could totally see Harry being like, you know what? I'm still going to do, who knows? But hopefully, whatever ends up, I hope Harry doesn't have to end up paying a whole ton of money. And I hope he wins. Whether he decides to settle or not, we'll find out. Again, the court case is coming up in 2 months. And so, or just about a month and something. So we will see what happens between now and then. But in the meantime, Harry is probably home reading emails. You go, Prince Harry. You go. Very, very interesting. And so, have you guys heard about this? I mean, actually, have you guys heard about this? We've talked a little bit about the royal family, the Duchy, benefiting from dead people who die on the Duchy land, who many of them lived there for years, but they died without a will, or they claim they couldn't find family members, and all of the property, if they die without a will, all of their belongings, including their money, their house, everything reverts back to the owner of the duchy, which is now King Charles and Prince William. And the duchy, they claim that the money, whatever they call it, Bonaventia, something like that, that money the duchy claimed, and this is what they said they were doing with the money, was that the money would be going to charity. I think it was over a year ago that the Guardian did an investigation and found that that was a lie, that the duchy was not giving that money to charity. They were keeping that money. And some of that money was used to renovate King Charles's many properties that he have and all of the stuff, and was not going to charity. And I never heard of this part, that the king benefits from dead soldiers. This is so despicable, but listen to this.
Very few people realize that successive monarchs have benefited financially from the deaths of some British service personnel. I'm saying that kings and queens have made money out of the deaths of some British servicemen and women, and also civilians during wartime. But depressingly, it is true. I'm going to show you how it is done. Any person who dies without leaving a will in the duchy, and if no heirs can be traced, their property and money goes to the king as the duke. During both world wars, the monarch, according to The Guardian, saw a steep rise in Bonaventia income, as some soldiers, sailors, and civilians from the duchy died intestate, and their property and money went directly to the king, King George V in World War I, and King George VI in World War II. This distasteful fact continues to the present day.
That's right. To this day, if military personnel live on Duchy land and they die and they didn't have a will and the Duchy claim, well, no, we couldn't find any family members, whatever, their money go to the Duchy. It reverts back to the Duchy, and that's income for the Duchy. Military personnel. Now, you would think any person, okay, you can't find family members. What do? They were in the military. You donate that money back to the military. You donate whatever it is to the military. Oh, no. They're benefiting. They are taking the money. Again, they claim that this money was supposed to go to charity. When people die on Duchy land, and of course, with the Duchy, you can build a house. You can, build a house on Duchy land, whatever, but you don't own the land. So if you don't have a will, that house and everything on that land goes back to the king and the heir to the throne, the Prince of Wales. And they are making money off of dead soldiers. And of course, we just saw recently, and the Channel 4 dispatches came out recently with how they make money off of these exorbitant rent to the military. Even places that King Charles trained, they are charging them this rent. And now this is another way that they are making money off of, we haven't had a war in years, thank God. But during wartime, that's what they were saying, that there's this rise to the amount of money that the Duchy makes off dead soldiers, because dead people who live on Duchy land, who went to serve their country, die. And so everything goes back to the king. It's just like, it is so distasteful to just hear this. And this is all part of a video, and these are just screenshots from this video. It's just so distasteful that it's just like, oh my God, this is horrible. I just can't even. So I'm assuming if they're military living on Duchy land right now, whether they're in war or not, if they die without a will, and of course the Duchy claim that they don't find any family members, that goes to them. Hope nobody who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan didn't live on Duchy land, God forbid, as the Duchy claim, like, we don't know any family members, so we're taking your stuff. That is just so deplorable. Anyway, just add that to your files of deplorable stuff and why this monarchy needs to be abolished. Anyway, moving on from that nasty. This was funny. We remember Prince Harry at the Tonight Mayors with Jimmy Fallon, right after he did the few days he was at the UN. He did the Tonight Show, and he went to the Tonight Mayors. And so one of the funny parts of the Tonight Mayors skit that he did with Jimmy Fallon when they were going through the Halloween haunted house was Harry came up on this ghoulish person that to him looked like Michael Bublé. And he's like, and Harry was like, is that Michael Bublé? And then he was like, good job, buddy. I love that. It was so hilarious. So Michael Bublé was a couple of days, just in case you haven't seen this, Michael Bublé was on the Tonight Show. And so, of course, Jimmy Fallon was asking him about that. And he's like, yeah, Prince Harry called or texted me about this. And he's like, I was so confused. And he was like, yeah, I saw you on the Tonight Bears. And so they had a really fun chat about Harry thinking he was on the Tonight Show. But it was just really, really cute and funny. And so Jimmy Fallon was like, wait, Harry, you just get a call and text from Harry? And so Michael was like, yeah, we're friends. And so, of course, we know Michael Bublé and Prince Harry are great friends. We remember Michael in Vancouver Vancouver Whistler with Prince Harry and Meghan, and did this wonderful rendition of I Did It My Way in honor of Harry. Very, very, very funny. They are great friends. And so Jimmy Fallon was a little taken aback that he just couldn't get a text from Prince Harry. It was like, well, they're friends. They've been friends for years. And so, yeah. But I love the Tonight Man. So that was just a cute thing I ran up on. And then, of course, everybody knows this. Everybody knows. I mean, I love this where Meghan is out there And it's so funny. This is sort of taken aback those in the royal, in the British press, and they are like, "What do you mean she's out supporting another woman? Supporting other women?" Meghan, of course, we know that Meghan is all about supporting women, and so that's her whole brand. And no one should be surprised that Meghan is out supporting the launch of one of her friends, Katie Lee's, or Highbrow Hippies, new venture. And of course, the last episode I recorded it before we learned that Meghan was indeed an investor in this hair company. Katie is her colorist and who takes care of her hair, maintain her hair. And so nobody would be surprised. And I was saying that when I recorded the last episode, of course, I'd be shocked if Meghan is not an investor. I would be absolutely shocked. And of course, she was. And of course, Meghan was there with other investors like her other friends who invested in this as well. And so it just is really, it was been so great. And one of the great things about it, when the last episode I talked about Oprah doing this big write-up of a Highbrow Hippie's new launch of her hair serum and her vitamins. And it was so great to see other outlets like Vogue, WWD, InStyle, People. They all did big write-ups on it. And of course, Meghan is there, so they're all going to do write-ups about it. But I absolutely love this. And just in case you didn't see it, this is a couple of little clips from Vogue. It says, Katie Lee and Meghan Harry, founders of Highbrow Hippie, have launched a two-step routine to battle hair loss. And when I did the last episode, I thought Meghan Harry was Katie Lee's mom. I didn't look at the picture well. She just looks much older. And now I look at the pictures of them and I was like, "Ooh, sorry." I was mistaken. Sorry. And so this is a little bit of the write-up from Vogue. It says, "One imagine it takes a lot to lure Duchess of Sussex from Montecito to Abbot Kinney on a weeknight. So when she arrived at Yelena last night to fet Highbrow Hippie's new supplement line, toting a hefty bouquet of pink garden roses, it was clear something big was going on. Highbrow Hippie, the cult favorite hair salon, founded by Katie Lee and Meghan Harry, is known for expert color and handles the likes of Gwyneth Paltrow, Julia Roberts, and Duchess of Sussex, Kristen Davis, and Carolyn Murphy, and Diane von Furstenberg, among other bold-faced names. But in recent years, the duo have turned their attention behind the scenes to a topic that's slightly less glamorous, if certainly no less important, and that, of course, is hair loss." And a little more about the clip. It says that Yelena, Lee and Harris toasted and thanked their backers, including Markle, who stood nearby with her arms around Lee's mentor, Serge Normand, and that's Serge in the bottom there. Less than 2% of Black founders ever raise more than $1 million. Thanks to you guys, we did it in 3 weeks, Lee said, tearing up to a resounding chorus of cheers. Are you kidding? I was using box dye before I met you, the Duchess of Sussex replied. Harris announced that sales that morning had already topped what they expected for the first month total. Just as a gospel choir entered singing, "Your love lifts me higher and higher," it sounds like healthy hair is a growth market indeed. And so I just think it's great. And I think one of the things they talk about with hair loss, so many women, especially whether it's postpartum, depression, whatever they're going through, hair loss is a big deal. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. And one of the things they said, especially coming out of COVID, that was like so many people because of stress. And so many people have lost hair. So apparently the vitamins and the serum for the hair has really been so beneficial to so many people that they've been testing it on their clients, and so a lot of their clients are now investors, including Meghan. And of course, we saw Julia Roberts and others just singing the praises of the treatments that Highbrow Hippie has been giving to their hair. And of course, as women, especially Black women, this is a big deal for Black women. Now, if you're like me, I'm not a hair person, so gladly lose the hair. I am not a hair person for myself in any way, shape, or form. So I keep my hair very, very, very short. So, but a lot of women having that full head of hair is their thing. And especially, again, Black women, we're very, very sensitive to this. And so, and also, I think a great thing about this too is that they raised $1 million in 3 weeks. And it's just like, wow. And as she said, yeah, Black founders don't usually are not able to raise this amount of money. A lot of them, people don't believe in what they're doing. So it takes a lot for them to raise this kind of money, and to see the kind of network that Highbrow Hippie has, that they were able to do that in 3 weeks. So kudos for them. And it's great, some things that came out of it, that Serge, who was the one in the bottom there with Meghan, and Katie Lee / Highbrow Hippie, he's the one that introduced Meghan to Katie, because obviously Serge, we remember, is Meghan's hairstylist, and he's the one that did her hair for her wedding, and he does her hair all the time. He's the one that introduced her to Katie, and introduced Katie to his clients. He actually also mentored Katie. So that's her mentor, and he just opened everything up to her and just really changed her life. And you don't see that kind, especially in Hollywood, you don't see that kind of friendship and relationship. And one of the things that you see around Meghan all the time is the community she built. She connects people, and it's so great to see the people around her do the same exact thing, because he has all these high profile clients. He didn't have to open that book for her. He could have been like, oh, no, honey. These are my clients, not yours. I am not giving you my high profile clients. But as a hairstylist, he opened up his book to her and access to all of these high profile clients. Now, she's not a stylist, she's a colorist, and she maintains the hair. And so now they work together a lot. And it's just like, and he obviously, again, he was her mentor. And again, that is the kind of community Meghan has around her. And we talked about that in the last episode, how in Meghan's circle, it's whether it's Oprah, whether it's the Clever, whether it's Katie Lee, whether all of these people, whether it's the bookstore that they just opened, the Godmother's bookstore, all of these people support each other. And again, how did they even come up with the name Godmother? Is because they were supporting Harry while he was writing Spare. And he called them, and he referred to them as his godmothers. And so they took that name, and when they opened the bookstore, it's now called Godmothers. It's that circle of friendship and support that they have out there in California. And that is, all of them are lifting each other up and supporting each other, because these are some of the people that were part of, obviously, most of this has Meghan in it, only because I just love those pictures. But Meghan and Serge. The bottom left, you see Daniel Martin, who is with Tatcha. Tatcha obviously is Meghan's friend. At the bottom, the picture on the right, you can see Meghan's group right there, part of them. You can see Daniel's hands right there. Daniel is the one that did this little his Instagram reel there of him holding the serum. And right behind Meghan, and you can hardly see her face, is Meghan's friend who owns Tatcha. And we all know Daniel is the global ambassador for Tatcha, or global director for Tatcha. That's Meghan's friend in the gray who owns Tatcha. She's this one that started. This is Meghan's friend Serge right next to her. He is Meghan's hairstylist and works with Daniel, as sometimes he does Meghan's hair and Daniel does her makeup. And of course, that's Meghan's friend in the back, the blonde girl in the back there. That's Meghan's friend Heather. And Heather also, as you can see in the middle there, this is Heather's post. Says, what a beautiful evening celebrating Highbrow Hippie. And they're all in the same circle, and they're all there supporting each other. And it's just so wonderful. So Highbrow Hippie, as you can see, a lot of these posts are from them. And they're posting, this is her posting with her and Meghan there. I was like, oh. And then posting different outlets that feature them. And you can see just a little bit in the bottom right picture, you can see the Tatcha owner, and I forgot her name, at the bottom there, right? And you can see a little bit of her face there as they're all laughing with Highbrow Hippie. So I think she's also invested, if I'm not mistaken, she's also one of the investors in Highbrow Hippie. And so it's like they are investing in each other and bringing each other up and raising each other up. It is just so, I love that community that they have. And Meghan obviously supporting another female founder, supporting, lifting them up, investing in women. And would you know, on the other side of the pond, they're upset. Well, why isn't she bringing out her own? Her own is a failure. That's why she's supporting other women. It's like, no, supporting other women is also lifting Meghan up. She is supporting them. She is investing in them. She believes in them. That's what women are supposed to do. And it's just as satisfying as when you put out your own stuff. Because those women that you're lifting up, you need them too. When you have your thing, they're going to be there for you too. As you lift them up, they'll lift you up. And so, of course, many don't understand that because they don't have no friends. And it's the thing. It's like we have to invest in each other as women. And that's what they're modeling. Meghan is modeling, investing in other women. Nobody can say Meghan doesn't support women. Nobody can say that she is hypocritical and, talking about women and women empowerment and being a feminist and all of that and not supporting women. Oh, no. She is modeling, and she's a model for supporting other women in so many things that she does. She's out there supporting women. So kudos to Meghan, lifting up women and living it and showing it and modeling it. It is, and in that kind of, a lot of times, cutthroat industry, this is so rare. This is so very rare that there's no competition, just support, just they're lifting each other up. And it's just wonderful. So kudos, Meghan, for doing that. I love it. I absolutely love it. And here they are, so beautiful. And Highbrow Hippie, just some of the outlets that were reporting, these are just 3 of them. I think I already posted about some of them, but some of the outlets that were reporting on them. And again, this is the photo I saw in the middle that I don't know. I looked at it so quickly that her business partner there, she looked so much older. I thought it was maybe her mom. And then I looked later and it's like, oh no, I made a mistake. But Highbrow Hippie there posting, and this is from their Vogue shoot. And so, yes, I am so proud of them. Congratulations, Meghan, adding Highbrow Hippie to your portfolio. I look forward to see. I mean, of course, I believe she's also invested in Tatcha. I can't imagine her not being invested in Tatcha. I mean, hello, she sent it to Oprah, and it's on Oprah's favorite things. It's on, she's invested in it. So very, very cool and exciting. I just love these. I love them so much. It's like, this is the kind of community that everyone needs to have, everyone needs to build, as women supporting other women. It's beautiful to see. And I'm so happy that Meghan is doing this. So again, our faves are doing wonderful. Let the others do whatever they do, but our faves are doing fantastic. So congratulations, Harry and Meghan. So anyways, guys, that's it. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. You are awesome as usual. Thank you. Thank you to our wonderful 2 Cents crew as they support our channel on a monthly basis. Thank you all so much for your support, for your love, and for just really being here and listening to my crazy when I post. So I love you guys. Have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you next time. Bye, everyone.